The best revenge is no revenge. Just become untouchable. Stoic sound full script. They lied. They hurt you. They underestimated you. And now, your first instinct might be to clap back, to show them, to let them feel what you felt. But what if the best revenge isn't loud? It's silent. Not destruction, but transformation. Not anger, but evolution. In this extended Stoic sound session, we'll dive into the ancient art of letting karma do its work, while you level up so powerfully that they can no longer reach you. No pettiness, no retribution, just power, just peace, just you, becoming untouchable. 1. Let silence do the talking. There is a rare kind of power in silence. Toxic people want noise. They want a reaction. They feed on energy, even if it's negative. When you go silent, they lose their food, their fuel, their fire fizzles. The ancient Stoics understood that silence is not weakness, it is discipline, it's restraint. It's knowing that not everything deserves your breath, your words, your peace. To respond to every insult is to hand over your power, to explain yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. That's a waste of divine energy. Silence isn't about shutting down, it's about tuning up, redirecting all that reactive energy into personal growth, healing, and unshakable self-respect. For example, think about someone who disrespected you, lied, betrayed, or talked behind your back. You could have exposed them, cursed them, publicly humiliated them, but you didn't. Instead, you pulled back. You focused on your goals. You built. You healed. You elevated. Months later, you're thriving, and they're still stuck in cycles. Your silence didn't just protect your peace, it confused them, haunted them, forced them to sit with their own noise. Picture a mountain during a storm. The wind howls, the rain pours, but the mountain doesn't shout back. It stands, quiet, immovable. That's you. Repeat. My silence is not weakness. It's wisdom. I do not explain my peace. I protect it. Every time I choose silence, I choose power. Reflect and say, who tries to bait me into reactions? What does staying silent actually preserve in me? Breathwork practice. Inhale, stillness. Exhale, reaction. 2. Elevate, don't engage. When you stop reacting and start rising, they feel it, even if you never say a word. To elevate means to choose your evolution over your ego. It means you stop focusing on proving them wrong and start focusing on becoming so right with yourself that their opinion becomes irrelevant. Engagement keeps you on their level. Elevation lifts you out of reach. For example, they doubted your success. You didn't argue, you worked. They mocked your dreams. You didn't respond, you manifested. And now, the same people are watching you from a distance, wondering how they lost access to your energy. Stoic teaching. Marcus Aurelius said, "The best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury." This is not about showing off. It's about showing up for yourself. You don't need to compete. You don't need to reply. You need to rise so high that it feels like you're on a different frequency. Picture a hot air balloon rising quietly into the sky. Below, people are yelling, throwing stones, desperate to bring you down, but you're already too far gone. You're in the clouds, watching peace replace the noise. Say, I rise above what no longer serves me. I don't chase revenge. I attract alignment. My success is my silent speaking. Reflect and ask, what part of my growth is silencing old critics? Where in my life am I choosing to elevate, not engage? Practice. Inhale elevation. Exhale attachment. 3. Heal, grow, and glow. Healing is the most rebellious thing you can do after being hurt. They want you broken. They expect you bitter. They think you'll be stuck in pain forever, repeating the same patterns, begging for closure. But when you take your pain and turn it into purpose, you become unstoppable. You break cycles. You choose therapy over trauma. You choose discipline over destruction. You glow, not from revenge, but from rebirth. Imagine someone who was left shattered, maybe after betrayal, abandonment, or abuse. Instead of spiraling, they sought help, read books, worked out, prayed, journaled, traveled, built a business, found peace. Now, the glow is undeniable. Their light makes the people who dim them uncomfortable. Seneca said, "He who suffers before it is necessary suffers more than is necessary." To heal is to stop suffering twice, once from the pain, and again from refusing to let it go. Picture a cracked clay pot repaired with gold. That's you. The Japanese call it kintsugi, making broken things more beautiful. Not despite the break, but because of it. Affirmations. My healing is my power. I do not shrink to fit my old wounds. I am not who hurt me. I am who I chose to become after. Reflection prompt. What healing step have I delayed? What would it feel like to glow from the inside out? Breathwork practice. Inhale, wholeness. Exhale, regret. 4. Become who they can't access. The best way to win. Be unfindable in the places they left you. Extended insight. Karma is not always loud, and your growth doesn't need a spotlight. You become untouchable, not just by rising, but by disappearing from their reach. You evolve past their insults, their gossip, their projections. You no longer react. You no longer explain. You simply become someone they no longer qualify to disturb. To become inaccessible is to master emotional self-respect. Real life example. The person who used to insult you in front of friends, they can't anymore because you're no longer in their orbit. The ex who tried to control your emotions, they can't even reach your new phone number. The friend who thrived on competition now watches your wins from a silent account. That's what happens when you step out of range. Visualization. Imagine a person climbing a spiral staircase that leads upward into the clouds. Below, the people yelling get smaller. Their voices fade. Their access dissolves. The stairs never end, and you never stop rising. Affirmations. I do not shrink to be seen. If I outgrow you, I bless you and rise. I owe no one access to my peace. Reflection prompt. Where am I still too reachable to the wrong people? What boundary would make me emotionally untouchable. Breathwork. Practice. Inhale detachment. Exhale access. 5. Let time reveal what you don't need to prove. Time is the great equalizer. It's the lens that brings truth into focus. You may not get immediate justice. You may not see them suffer. But if you trust time and stay aligned, everything that was once confusing becomes clear. Everything unfair begins to make sense. Time reveals character. Time reveals who was real, who was pretending, who was the storm, and who was the mountain. Instead of forcing closure or begging for apologies, you let time speak for you, because eventually they see it, who you've become, what they lost, how their actions echoed back at them. Real life example. You were overlooked for a role, underestimated in a relationship, mocked for your dreams. But now, months or years later, they're watching your success unfold in real time. They feel your absence. They see your name. And no confrontation could have made that impact louder than your results. Stoic teaching. Epictetus said, "Don't explain your philosophy. Embody it. Let your transformation speak louder than your tongue ever could." Visualization. Picture a seed underground. People mock it for disappearing. But months later, a tree appears, unshakable, rooted and towering. That's you, quietly growing, eventually undeniable. Affirmations. I am patient enough to let time speak for me. I don't prove, I become. What's meant for me finds me. No force needed. Reflection prompt. What have I been trying to prove that time will reveal? How can I trust the process more deeply today? Breathwork practice. Inhale, trust. Exhale, urgency. Conclusion. The best revenge isn't punishment. It's peace. It's not about making them hurt. It's about making yourself whole. You don't need to yell. You don't need to fight. You don't even need to explain. Just rise, heal, evolve, and let the silence echo louder than anything they could have said. You are already becoming untouchable.